Welcome back to the Judas Tim and Jezebel April show.
Here we are.
Here we are. Oh my gosh. One of these days we're going to have a slow week, maybe. I would love a slow week, wouldn't you?
Yes and no. I love doing. As much work as this is, it is a lot of work. I love doing this. I really do, and I love being live. I love being live. Don't know why. I just do. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for being with us. It does feel more, I don't know. It's kind of like church in a way, where 2 or 3 are gathered. Not to over spiritualize it. All the agnostics and atheists here are like, no, we're not. I'm just kidding. Love y'all. Love to y'all.
Pray this prayer. Get saved.
I know. Eyes closed, heads bowed all around this room. We got to bring up the pad. Okay, so another big story that is happening, and this one is absolutely egregious. A Palestinian activist who was one of the protesters at Columbia University last year, who was protesting, really at the time was Joe Biden, protesting the American government's funding of the Israel genocide of Palestinian people and all the bombs and everything that was happening there. And he was just arrested this week. His name is Mahmoud Khalil. Yep. He was here on a green card legally. He is a legal permanent student or a permanent resident of the United States. His wife is a United States citizen, and his wife is 8 months pregnant. And he, at his student apartment where he lives in the lobby, he was detained by ICE and then moved to Louisiana at a jail there. Being detained. He has committed no crime. When ICE came to arrest him, they told Khalil, who is of Palestinian descent, he was born in Syria to Palestinian refugees. So ICE told him that his student visa had been canceled, even though he's not here on a student visa. He's a legal permanent resident with a green card. His wife went to get his green card from her apartment and said, no, he's here. He's got a green card. But the officers said that his lawful permanent residency had been revoked. And so, he is currently being detained in Louisiana for really no reason except for protesting. The White House is saying that he was pro-Hamas, that he was spreading pro-Hamas propaganda, which terrorist organizations, obviously what Hamas did on October 7th was wrong. We completely disagree with that too. But there's no evidence that Khalil even spread this pro-Hamas agenda. He's denied it. His lawyers denied it. Carolyn Leavitt, who's the White House press secretary, claims she has the proof on her desk, has not provided that proof. So right now, the U.S. government is detaining an American citizen for his use of free speech.
That's right.
That is basically what is happening. And his wife is 8 months pregnant. And to be fair, they arrested him in New York and are holding him in Louisiana. His court hearing was in New York, and they did not let him attend his court hearing. I think a judge just on Monday allowed him to talk to his attorneys, because prior to that, they were not allowing him to speak to anybody. So this is, the judge on Monday did halt his deportation temporarily to get through some of these hearings, because this is a very unprecedented situation. So he's currently still being held, though, in Louisiana, as this is going to go to another court hearing.
Why don't we, I want to drive this point home. That's the story, right? And so you know, one of the things that we said in the title of this video and of this podcast is that Christians support this. And I can picture some people saying, what are you talking about? Who would support this? Well, I mean, William Wolf would support this. I actually have this tweet pulled up that I want to kind of go through. And so William Wolf, for people who don't know, is a raging racist Christian nationalist. And I mean racist, like 100%. I've asked him why he doesn't embrace the term when he advocates for things that are racist all the time. He also used to be a part of the Trump administration administration back in 2016. He's a real, just not a good human being, in my opinion. And I think that he really summarizes the sentiment of many Christian nationalists. Again, these are your free speech warriors, right? People who are going to say, oh, the left is pro-censorship and we've been so persecuted online. Thank God for Elon Musk and making Twitter, or now X, a free speech destination, etc. So he tweets out that he goes, I support the Trump administration's deportation of Mahmoud Khalil. He's not a citizen. He has no right to be here. He's here purely as a recipient of our hospitality, and it's up. But even more, I support deporting any foreign nationals who protest against America. Okay. So there's just so many issues with that already. Again, it's like we say often about Christian nationalism, it's never about pluralism. It's not about constitutional rights for all. It's not about that. It's always about whatever privileges them and what keeps the nation very white. So Americans for Democracy, good friends of ours, responded and said, so you support him being ripped away from his pregnant citizen of a wife? Seriously, how Christian of you? And then he said the quiet part out loud. He retweeted that and said, behold, the sin of empathy in action.
Wow.
So just to get this narrative straight from William Wolf, we are supposed to be a pro-family nation that supports families and supports the nuclear family. But if the government rips away or rips apart a family by illegally arresting someone who's here legally, who has the papers, who is a citizen, right? If he gets arrested away from his pregnant wife because this person is seen as an enemy of the state, according to William, that's just toxic empathy to decry it. So it's, again, I want to make this point so clear to you, the audience. It's never about pro-family, broadly speaking.
Right.
It's about certain families being protected and other families being ripped apart. It's never about the nuclear family as a broad idea. It's about a very certain or specific type of nuclear family that looks and acts and thinks a certain way. And when other families are torn apart by the state, by the way, William Wolf swoops in with the most batshit bullshit theology you ever heard of and says, behold, the sin of empathy. Literally, by the way, a made-up theology. Just made up out of thin air, made up. And this is how they frame it. It's despicable. It's disgusting. It's dehumanizing. And this is why me and you, April, and many others are Christians who are actively fighting against Christian nationalism. Because this is what America will look like if they get their way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And right now, the Trump administration is framing any pro-Palestinian voice as anti-Semitic.
Yes.
And as pro-terrorism. So there's absolutely zero nuance. If I could describe the MAGA Christian nationalist movement by anything, it's just a black and white ideology. There's no nuance. Something is either always wrong or always right. There's no middle ground. And so, but just to say, happening right now at Trump Tower, a bunch of Jewish protesters are demanding the release of Mahmoud.
Good.
So
I love that.
Yeah. So the whole idea, I kind of feel like the push to make anything pro-Palestine as anti-Semitic is similar to saying that what we do, right? Our talk against, when we call out Christian nationalism, is anti-Christian.
Right.
Like what we're, it's such a simplistic way of looking at something, because a lot of Jews are not Zionists. Like Zionism, being against Zionism is a completely different thing than anti-Semitism. And there's no differentiating between those two things in the Trump administration.
Well, the funny thing, too, is that right now in the right-wing Christian MAGA world, there's a huge influx of anti-Semitism, like legit anti-Semitism taking off, where there are Christians saying things like the Jews control the media. Candace Owens, the reason why she's so pro-Palestinian is because she's incredibly anti-Semitic. She thinks that Jewish people are controlling the levers of power in America, and there's this huge conspiracy, and there's a huge civil war breaking out right now inside of that world. So if you want to find anti-Semitism, maybe you should look inside your own world, in your own base, Christian nationalists, because you have people who are pushing that stuff hard, really hard right now. So I totally agree with you, April. And again, I want to hammer this home over and over again until the day this show no longer exists. Christian nationalists use language that sounds nice. Oh, Yeah, protect family values. Yeah, free speech. But what they mean is that our families, our speech, they will never, ever, ever extend that to other types of families that look different than them. They will never extend that to Muslim families. They will never extend free speech to other citizens that might protest against the government. In America, we can have Nazis who wear masks, who pop out of U-Hauls, protest with police escorts, and the right says nothing about that. That's free speech. But this man protests on a student campus, or on a college, the genocide of the Palestinians. Now you have to be deported.
Yeah. Well, you also have to, what MAGA and this Trump administration and Christian nationalists say sounds good, right? When they say we're protecting women from men and women's sports, but then on the flip side are stripping away reproductive rights from women, are wanting to take away their right to vote. They're doing all these things, but they're saying this, look, we're protecting women. It's the same thing of like, look, we're against anti-Semitism, which is great. I'm also against anti-Semitism.
100%.
But they're saying that while also regularly throwing out Nazi salutes now and bringing in a fascist government.
That's right.
That would hurt not only Jewish people, but all marginalized groups.
1,000%. How do you claim to protect women when you bring back Andrew Tate to America?
Yeah.
It's the same stuff. Again, every accusation is a confession. This is why we are so passionate about this, because we know what Christian nationalists want. They want a total takeover of American government, culture, politics, the whole nine, influence, entertainment. They want a full takeover. They are not looking to play footsies. And again, the data bears this out. They are the least likely group to support pluralism. They don't believe in religious freedom for all. They don't believe in democracy, ultimately. They will only utilize these things whenever it's convenient to them. We have to call it out.
Right. And then protest against Israel and the government for what they're doing to Palestinians is considered illegal.
Right.
But then Trump pardoned everyone on January 6th. Who actually committed crimes and people died.
That's
and
right.
It was a whole thing.
Right.
It was a whole thing.
Or it's how Stephen Wolfe.
They're heroes. Yeah.
Or it's how Stephen Wolfe, the author of Case for Christian Nationalism, can be, oh yeah, free speech, and then say on a podcast, I'm all about blasphemy laws. Because it's their free speech. It's their rights. It's their families.
Speaking of protests. There's another protest going on that Trump is not a fan of. Tesla, or as Trump would like to say, Tesla.
Oh my God! Yeah, wait, should I just play that now? We need a palate cleanser.
Let's pull it up.
Okay.
So if you missed it, earlier this week, was that yesterday? 2 days ago? I don't know when it was. It was this week.
Here it is. I got it.
Yeah.
Should I just play this? It's short clip. Listen to this.
We'll just say this is Trump and Elon Musk on the White House lawn where Trump is apparently buying a Tesla. And this is one thing Trump said. Go ahead.
I love Tesla.
One more time.
I love Tesla.
I love Tesla.
Okay,
Stop.
so Donald Trump did a whole ad for Tesla on the White House lawn because poor Elon's losing billions of dollars because people are boycotting Tesla because they don't want to support someone who throws out Nazi salutes and wants to dismantle democracies.
Yeah, no. Should we read the tweet first? You want to read the tweets of how he flip-flopped on this?
Yes. So a couple years ago, 2 years ago. Okay, so this is Christmas of 2023. So literally Christmas. He posted this on December 25th, 2023. This was Donald Trump's actual Christmas message to everybody.
Yeah, here you go. It's all you, April.
Merry Christmas to all, including crooked Joe Biden's only hope, deranged Jack Smith, the out-of-control lunatic who just hired outside attorneys fresh from the swamp, unprecedented, to help him with his poorly executed witch hunt against Trump, and MAGA included also all our world leaders, both good and bad, but none of which are as evil and sick as the thugs we have inside our country who, with their open borders, inflation, Afghanistan surrender, Green New Scam, high taxes, no energy independence, woke military, Russia/Ukraine, Israel/Iran, all electric car lunacy, and so much more are in looking to destroy our once again great USA. May they rot in hell. Again, Merry Christmas.
We live in the stupidest timeline in existence. How?
I don't know. I feel the Christmas spirit already. I'm right back in the holidays.
Okay, so that was Trump a year and a half ago, essentially. Not even.
Yeah, so at the very end, he says, all electric car lunacy, may they rot in hell. So I'm not a fan of electric car lunacy.
Well, maybe, because here we are now.
Yes. So I will now read this one from March 11th, which was 2 days ago. So this week, Donald Trump posted, to Republicans, conservatives, and all great Americans, Elon Musk is putting it on the line in order to help our nation, and he is doing a fantastic job. But the radical left lunatics, as they often do, are trying to illegally and collusively boycott Tesla, one of the world's great automakers and Elon's baby, in order to attack and do harm to Elon and everything he stands for. They try to do it to me at the 2024 presidential ballot box. But how did that work out? In any event, I'm going to buy a brand new Tesla tomorrow morning as the show of confidence and support for Elon Musk, a truly great American. Why should he be punished for putting his tremendous skills to work in order to help make America great again? Poor Elon, the poor richest man in the world is being boycotted, Tim.
And don't worry, guys. This is who Charlie Kirk thinks is doing a great stand-up, bang-up job making America great again. And Gavin Newsom's like, yeah, no, you're right. You got some great points here.
Also, Teslas are expensive.
They're expensive as hell.
I'm happy to admit that I guess I'm also boycotting Tesla. But truthfully, I can't afford Tesla anyway.
I got to be honest, April, on a side note, this is where I will admit it's hard. I've driven in a Tesla. I actually rented one. I got one for a steal, a nice one, for $300 for 3 days. And it was really nice. It just was fun to drive. But on principle, I could never buy a Tesla, given Elon Musk and the nonsense that he is doing. But yes, I mean, to your point, the fact that he's trying to make Elon Musk, the world's greediest man, by the way, as some kind of victim from people. I love how he says they're trying to illegally, and is collusively even a word, and collusively boycott Tesla. How is it illegal to boycott something? That's all the right wing does. Boycott Target, they're woke. Boycott Disney, they're woke. There's literally a right wing infrastructure of email blasts and text message blasts. And I know that because I see them on my mom's phone all the time. Whenever I check her phone, you know, I have to fix it as the tech guy. I just see so many texts. Stop Crooked Joe, stop this person. There's a whole collusively organized infrastructure of right wingers who will tell you what to boycott when. That's not illegal, but some people protesting Elon Musk at Tesla dealerships, that's illegal. What the absolute, I'm going to curse here, trigger warning, what the absolute fuck are we doing? What are we doing? What are we talking about? What the hell are we talking about in this tweet? And why do people like Charlie Kirk think that this megalomaniac lunatic is somehow the man making America great again? It does not add up. It is crazy.
Yes, it is absolutely crazy. Collusively is a word, by the way. It just sounds weird coming. It sounds extra fancy coming from Trump because he normally says big. He normally says words like bigly
and Tesla.
And Tesla.
Do you want to play this clip of him?
I do, but before we go in there, can you pull up his tweet one more time? I would like
for sure. Sorry about that.
Just point out that you and I grew up in a conservative world. I would just like to point out that we are the OGs of boycotts and cancel culture. Yes. I have a list here of some things that conservatives have and I'm, shameless plug, I'm reading out of my own book, Star Spangled Jesus. I have a whole chapter on boycotts. This is by no means an exclusive list, and I have the reasons for why these things were boycotted, but I'm just going to read you real quick Just a few things, okay?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
The Barbie movie and Bud Light, that was more recent.
Ovs. Yeah, totally.
Here's some other things. Ready? Teletubbies.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Procter and Gamble, Cabbage Patch Dolls,
Yep.
PetSmart, Betty Crocker, NBC, Starbucks, Toys R Us, Oreo cookies, Urban Outfitters, Nabisco's Honey Maid and Teddy Grahams, Chobani Greek yogurt, Campbell's soup, TurboTax, the Hallmark Channel, Sesame Street, Dole Fruit Bowls, Uber Eats, Ritz Crackers, Sabra Hummus, Scooby-Doo cartoons, Peppa Pig cartoon, Zales Jewelers, Carter's Kids Clothing, Hershey's, Netflix, K Jewelers, Zillow, eHarmony, etc.
Did you get Disney in there?
I mentioned Disney earlier in the chapter, so it wasn't in that list. But there's literally a whole list of just Disney items also.
Wait, can I ask you a question? I don't want to belabor the point. I've never heard of some of these. Can you give me the story behind you said Teddy Grahams?
Yes, because Honey Maid included a gay couple in one of their ads.
I believe that. That. Pokemon cards, Harry Potter, right? Yes, you're right. They are the OGs of the boycott.
I mean, yeah, a good chunk of those lists were specifically boycotted by 1 million moms, which is actually more like 15,000 moms on a good day. But yeah, it's so wild to me that these people can be mad about boycotts. Like, y'all invented the boycott for the dumbest reasons. I would say though, progressives so far seem to be better at the boycotts than conservatives.
Yeah, sure.
And also the Tesla boycott is global. It's not just happening in the United States. Like literally all over the world, people are boycotting Tesla. And to be fair, there is some vandalism going on and some destruction of Tesla property, which is another topic that they were talking about. But also, Elon Musk did a Nazi salute. So.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, what is the right-wing logic here, right? Like, hey, there are consequences to your actions. I'm just saying, I don't support vandalizing property, although there's an argument to make for it in some theologies. I will not discuss them here, maybe later on. But as a person, I don't think that we should vandalize people's stuff, okay? But also, like, what's the logic here? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Like, maybe don't give Nazi salutes. I don't know, Elon. Like, I'm no genius.
Yeah.
Maybe stop gutting the federal government all willy-nilly so you can keep profiting off of all of the deregulation that you're putting into place while the average American starts suffering. I mean, Elon wants to gut Social Security. It's absolute lunacy. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Should we play the video now? This is a real thing. I try to point out this is a real thing. This is your tax dollars at work, people. This is Trump and Elon. Which, by the way, Elon's not wearing a suit and tie. Which didn't right-wing journalists call out Zelensky for not wearing a suit and tie in the Oval Office? But I digress. Yes. This is Trump doing a Tesla ad at the White House for Elon. Like I'm blown away by this.
Unethical at best.
At best. Okay, 2-minute clip. We'll play the whole thing. Here we go.
President Trump, are you looking to buy or lease today?
Well, I'm going to buy. And I'm going to buy because, number one, it's a great product, as good as it gets. Number two, because this man has devoted his energy and his life to doing this. I think he's been treated very unfairly by a very small group of people. And I just want people to know that you can't be penalized for being a patriot. And he's a great patriot. Can. And he's also done an incredible job with Tesla. And I mean, nobody else has a car company started up in the last 30 years that's been successful.
Electric car lunacy.
So. And not only successful, but super successful. And because he's able to find billions and billions and billions of dollars of fraud and waste and all of the things. I mean, our country is going to be very strong very soon because of a lot of the things that he's done and a lot of the things that I'm doing. And there's no better team, but there's no better for what we're doing. There's nobody like this, and he shouldn't be penalized. And when I watched the other day, I said, I can't believe it. It should be the opposite. People should be going wild, and they love the product, but because he's finding all sorts of terrible things that have taken place against our country, they want to penalize him in a economic sense. And I just think that's very unfair. So I just wanted to make a statement. I'm going to buy one. Now, here's the bad news. I'm not allowed to drive because I haven't driven a car in a long time, and I love to drive cars. but I'm going to
Do
have
you?
it at the White House, and I'm going to let my staff use it. I'm going to let people at the place use it. What do you think?
Well, the car that I drive is the Model S Class
Which
C.
is that one?
That red one in the middle.
I like that. Yeah.
Wow.
I like that.
This is
It's 0 to 60 miles an hour in 2 seconds.
this
So
is
they have
literally
lined up a bunch of different Tesla cars.
this is a Tesla like dealership now.
yes.
Okay. How much
They
longer?
literally
Okay,
brought a
30
bunch of
seconds.
cars for Trump to pick and then buy one.
By the way, I love the headline from Forbes. Breaking news! President Trump and Elon Musk speak to reporters outside the White House. Like, wow, Forbes, that is breaking.
Than a Ferrari.
That's pretty fast. I don't know if my people can handle it. Jeff, they're going to be using it more. I'm not allowed to use it. This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer.
Everything's
computer. I love Tesla.
This is really amazing.
You gonna get
Really
it?
amazing. Let's take a look at a couple.
So Elon and
Mr.
Trump are
President,
both
you gonna get
in the
wrapped
car
in
now.
gold?
Think Biden could get into that car? I don't.
And then why make a Biden dig? Like, I don't.
He brings up Biden all the time.
They are
also,
so petty.
he claimed he could not drive a car because he's president, but there is video footage of Joe Biden while being president driving his Jeep. Just saying.
That is a painful piece of audio. If friends, if you're listening to this on the podcast and you're just screaming into the void, I understand that's a painful 2.5 minutes on every
sorry.
level. What does he say? At the end of the day, what has he actually said? He said a bunch of nothing.
So he's also holding some papers in there, and someone got a close-up of what he's holding, and it's basically a Tesla just like informational ad piece where it has the prices of each one and like their pros and what they do. And at one point Elon was like, oh yeah, you can go 0 to whatever and blah blah blah, and like it's literally a Tesla ad.
It is. I mean, we just live. It is such an unreal situation we have found ourselves in America, because mostly of white Protestants thinking that this is the guy. This is the guy anointed by God, chosen by God, picked by God to save America. And again, I want to just ask all of you out there, especially if you're a moderate conservative or a moderate evangelical, can you please tell me how any of this has helped you directly? Even this idea of, oh, we're rooting out fraud and waste. Again, how have you benefited from it? Has there been more money in your paycheck? Are you getting more money on your tax returns? Are there more government programs to help you out if you need them? Like what is the win that you're actually benefiting from? Because Elon Musk has $38 billion worth of contracts with the government, so he's certainly benefiting. I would like to know how we're benefiting because Trump endorses Tesla. The same man who, by the way, a year and a half ago said the electric car lunacy from the left is so wild, now praising Tesla as it's computer, it's amazing. Like, dude,
Everything's
there's no value.
computer.
Everything's computer.
Can you at some point, you just need to pull that I love Tesla?
I'm going to. I absolutely gonna
anytime
pull
we
that.
talk about Tesla, that we're just gonna be like, I love Tesla.
I am absolutely pulling that clip 1,000%.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you liked that, then you'll love our longer shows at the Tim and April Show on YouTube. We go live every Monday and Thursdays at noon Eastern. So come join us in the live or check out the full episode where we go way deeper into various topics, a lot of different topics, at the Tim and April Show on YouTube.